Hi traders, welcome to the week ahead, and what a week it's been. We're seeing the spread of the coronavirus, we're seeing very volatile markets, and there is no telling just what market sentiment is going to do. We've seen the breakout of the virus now in the United States of America, and New York's got it, the Western Seaboard's got it, Eastern Seaboard's got it. So it is really prudent to be wise when trading, because you cannot predict it. And if you've got good technicals and your strategy is working, then stick to it. Stick to the technicals. Stick to what you know works. And if the setups aren't there, don't take them. Wait for them. But before we get going, we do understand trading foreign exchange on margin carries a high level of risk. It isn't suitable for all investors. The high degree of leverage can work against you as well as for you when trading Forex. And before deciding to trade foreign exchange, you should carefully consider your invested objectives, level of experience, and risk appetite. The possibility exists that you could sustain huge losses. Maybe just some of your income or all your initial investment, and therefore you should not invest money that you cannot afford to lose. You need to be aware of the risk associated with foreign exchange trading, and before you enter into any financial investment, you should go and seek the advice of a independent financial advisor. The information in this video series is for educational purposes only. I do not give financial advice. I'm not qualified. The ideas and comments in this video are my personal opinions, and by watching this video you agree not to hold me responsible, and you take full responsibility for any decisions that you make in your trading, regardless of what you might hear, see, or otherwise, and you don't hold the producer of this video series liable for any of the information shared. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get to it. I first want to take a look at the economic calendar. It's a fairly light week this week, and the central driver will continue to be the virus. There's no getting around that, and bear in mind that the Bank of England is talking about the possibility of cutting rates. We don't know what the ECB is going to do at this point, but the main finance rate is 0 at the moment, and it's predicted to stay the same. There is no telling what Mrs. Lagarde, Christine Lagarde will say or do, and this is going to move the euro if there's any rocking of the boat. If she comes out with surprises at the end of this week, just be ready for some volatility around the euro. Not guaranteed. At the beginning of the week, we've got China, CPI year on year. Now, there is suggestions that China has the virus under control, and they will be first back to business as usual. Wait and see. Remember, opinions have to be proven by the market. Just because I have an opinion or anyone else has an opinion doesn't mean to say it's so. And so just don't swallow hook, line, and sinker everything you hear, whether it's from a news source, Forex educator, or whatever. Please stay safe out there and make your mind up using good common sense. Let the market guide you and show you. The CPI core for US will be interesting, especially after the strong data that came out, non-farm payroll. Those, just keep an eye on them. It doesn't mean if they come out as predicted, who knows? It's going to be the unknown, the surprises that come out of global happenings like the virus, the movement of banks, etc., etc. The Fed came in, didn't even wait for the release. It just decided to jump. Canada's release, the cash rate was due, and they jumped according to what the expectations were. So stay careful out there. Just keep an eye on this stuff so you don't get caught short. Protect your profits when these announcements are coming up. I'm going to be very interested on Tuesday to hear what Mr. Governor Orr says for our New Zealand dollar. So let's get that out of the way. I'll try to be short, sharp, and not waffle. US dollar index is what I want to have a look. And you've seen this last week the decline in the US dollar index. Now we are at a critical place technically. So let's not get too carried away. These are the areas here. I'm looking at a weekly chart, but these are the areas here that we need to be watching around the 122. A break below this, then or you've got another area here that needs to be taken out, and then after this it is free fall. And I would normally, if it wasn't for the virus and what that's doing, I would suggest to you that if we get a close below this level and we see the US dollar moving lower technically, then this would be the next target. Just from a technical perspective, if we see this halt, if we see the interest rate move that they made last week, if it halts the decline in the dollar, this could be the new bottom and this could just move sideways. Interesting enough, as we go to the Aussie USD, you'll see that there's been a rise in the Aussie dollar, a little bit of a pullback. This is a critical area here on the monthly, and we're looking at some really historical kind of numbers. Okay, at the Aussie USD dollar, this could be the bottom. Who knows? We have to wait and see. But if it gets below this, then here's the historical low down here. So we need just plain common sense. Let the market confirm what you think it's going to do. Don't rely on just anybody's personal opinion and prediction, because we all look at charts differently. We all interpret differently. So is this a pullback? Is this a reversal on the US Aussie dollar or the Aussie US dollar? It's anybody's guess. And you can see where it's turned and it's moved up last week. Right now is anybody's guess. If the US dollar continues to drop, I think that we could see it coming up here and testing. This is a resistance area. So just wait to see what it's going to do. There's a mispivot up here. No, it's not. My bad. We'll remove it. This here is going to be really key. Whether this could go sideways for days, so just wait for your setups. You will have different indicators. I'm not going to talk to you about mine. I'm just going to look at levels of support and resistance. Right now, I do not have a green light to go north. If I get a close above here, I will. Aussie, New Zealand. Key areas in here again, and you just go and put your support areas in. There's a support area there on the daily. We can see that it broke above, and if you went and had a look on the weekly, you'd in fact, I'll show you just very quickly. It's not rocket science. We're somewhere in between a range on the weekly. This is kind of like a range here. You could go up here, but when you look left, you can see where price reacted here. And then price reacted down the bottom along here again. And you could put another line in here. You can go a little bit higher in there. You go back to your daily chart or your 4-hour, whatever you want to do. And this is what it looks like. So this could come back and retest here. Wait and see. I'm interested in trying to buy it off the bottom again. I'm not so sure I want to sell it from the top. Okay? So you have to make your decisions the way you see the market, and that's why you've got to know that your algorithm or your system and set of indicators is working really well. Aussie Swiss has just continued to come lower, And I know people that are been banging on about going north, going north, going north. We're at historical lows, if I remember rightly, on the Aussie Swiss. Yeah, we are. Here we go. Here's the monthly chart. Started in 2005 on TradingView. But look at this. Since 2005, this is the lowest that it's been. Here was historical lows down in here. And it broke it. It went back up. And then it's broken lower again. Where's this going to end? Right now, there's a lot of money pouring in on the Swissy. So don't get duped into thinking that this is the bottom. You don't know until the market proves that it is. And let's go back to the daily now, because I do everything around the daily candle change. And you can see we've had indecision last week. And I'm looking for a bottom. It's pulled back off here. I will need to see something like this before I go long. I need to see a good strong daily candle, a morning star or something, or a engulfing candle. And I need to see the trend line here broken before I go north, coupled with a key area of resistance being broken. Just simple stuff. You could say the top in here could be where we need to wait and be patient. Get a break of this trend line and it goes above this level. You can see if we go to the 4 hour, it'll be interesting to see. I'm not going to waste time going down to all these different time frames. There you go. You can see that there's a bit of a resistance area here. Need to see that come up and back into this range again. Aussie CAD. Just simple support and resistance stuff. I'm not saying it's wrong to trade off a 4 hour or an hour. That's entirely up to you. You've got to work out your own methodology. I'm just pointing out to you that right now we need to be careful. And I like the bigger time frames because I'm after bigger pips. And we can see that price was reacting in here. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. It's just common sense. And what we're looking for is to see if this pair, here was the entry. This is my baseline. That was the entry here. Right now, have no business being in that trade because we're at a price point where price was reacting. I need to see a close and I need to see something like this to go forth. Okay, CAD Swiss. Look at it. The money's been pouring into the Swiss franc as a safe haven currency. And it's dropped lower. So there's no trade. CAD JPY, no trade. You can talk about the Japanese economy falling over, but come and have a look at this. Go and have a look at the bigger picture. Squish this up. You know, we're getting down to some really important areas again. Price reacted in here. And look, it looks like it's wanting to try and break this area. So we have to be patient. Is it going to come down? Is it going to come down and hit this level? This was the level here. This is where price reacted, right in there. Somewhere in around, sorry, up in there. There it is there. Bottoms. It just gives you a big... So the possibility is that it could come lower. And if you want to trade on smaller time frames, that's great. Nothing wrong with it. You go right ahead. Let's have a look to see what it's like on the 4 hour. Yeah. I'd like to know if this is going to be a bottom. Because if it is, then there's a possibility for a chance up. But right now, I'm still very much in a downtrend. So no trade. So no trade. I know already. It's just a mess. There's the Aussie JPY. We missed out on that. Big question, is this the bottom? It can go lower. There isn't any question about that. Don't be fooled. and to what people tell you. People are saying, oh no, we're looking to go long because of this pattern or that pattern. You wait for the market to tell you, because the patterns don't work all the time. So I'm looking for this level to hold at 7.0. If it holds and I get a good candle formation and I get a close above 72 here, which is where price was reacting, you can actually put this up a little lower to pick up. You know, a lot of this stuff is just subjective. You can see that price was reacting in around here, touch more candles, see? Now we've got to see this. I would love to get long on this, but right now there is no trade. Let's go to the euro pairs. The euro, for some reason, has just been strengthening. This area here where this purple line is a really massive area of resistance. And we'll come back down. This lots of indecision through last week on the euro AUD. And it dropped down, and you know, just for a whole day we had a fall down, then it turned around. Look, it's come back in. And so this looks like this is a key area. 171. We could put this up here so we can pick up one. There it is, 170. Sorry, not 171. Just somewhere up in there. Resistance. And the big question is it going to go higher? If we get a close above here, then we can see this monthly resistance area could very easily be the next target. Otherwise, maybe sideways movement. Looking, this is a double top now, but we have to see when the market opens what it's going to do. Euro CAD has had a beautiful move up, but now it looks like it's stalling. This is the move. Just simple things like a trend line, say on a daily or a weekly chart, a key level, engulfing candle, get a close above, for me, my baseline, and away I go. Just keep doing it all the time. And I like small candles when I get entries, because then my risk reward isn't too heavy. And if it is too heavy, I've got to cut my lot size right down so I protect my capital and look after my account. You know, it's just, oopsie, it's just simple stuff. Euro Swissy. People were saying, oh, this is the boom up. No, look what it did. It came back, retested this level. See where price reacted here before. And it's broken this key level here. And this thing could go, it's like the money's piling into the Swiss. Every currency against the Swiss at the moment is weakening. Look at this on the monthly chart. Here's your historical low for this chart, you know, the trading view that we're looking at. I mean, look at it. 1994 goes way back to. This could easily come down here. I don't trade it south. Euro, pound. This was the move. There's the entry that I took. Took profit here. Now it's come back and retested this key area. If this level is going to hold, I will be looking for another move up. And I will use this simple technique. There's kind of like the trend line. If it just keeps going sideways, this becomes null and void. And if we go and have a look out, let's have a look at the week. You can see that it's pulling off. It's pulled back off here, and we're still in a downtrend for mine. So this could just go sideways. I wouldn't be too keen to buy this, because you've got another level right up in here where price reacted. See, here and here. And it's nearly touched that, and it pulled back off again. It's just common sense trading. There it is. There's your line there. That's roughly where price was reacting. So there you have it. And we got halfway up to that distance, and So now I need to see it either close above here and then give me a good entry candle. This isn't good enough. See this candle formation here? Not good enough, because I'd be trading into where price reacted before. Not going to do it. Euro JPY. Here we go again. Look, just real key stuff going on here. And it's just about patience. There's no trade. Patience, patience, patience. I'm looking. Now, here was an engulfing candle. Engulfing candle doesn't mean squat. With all the volatility and uncertainty in the market right now, you cannot rely on things that you've relied on in the past. You've got to be really, really sensible. See this engulfing candle here? Look where price was reacting prior to that. See here? There's a little shelf. Here, there's a little shelf. Why would you trust this signal? You really need to be patient and wait. It doesn't matter that it's 100 pips up here. You need to be patient and wait and look for a better launching pad than this. Euro, NZ. It's had a move up. Interesting enough, correlations. It used to be when the New Zealand USD was moving up, this would be moving down. Well, look at what the Euro's done. It's not playing by the rules. We're at a key level again, right in here. And we've seen it pull back off on last week. And if we go to the daily, you can see what's been happening on the daily. It just hasn't been able to break this area. So no trade. Euro USD, lovely move up, but like the Euro CAD and the Euro AUD, that was the trade, the break of the trend line. Right now, I'm not trying to go higher. Here's a key level right in here. And you can see it nearly touched it. You can squish it up. See? Reaction, reaction, reaction. Look at it right the way through here. Just simple stuff. So what am I expecting? I'm looking for it to maybe bottom out here where that crosses. Looking for some sort of retest. And if I got a retest in a few days of settleness in terms of support, got an engulfing candle, yes, I'd be inclined to go there. I'm quite happy to go from a place down here because there's a steep incline. This has had a steep incline up as well. So I'm looking now for a break of the trend line going the other way. But I also want to look at key levels. You can see price was reacting just in here as well. There's the top. See? Through there. And so I'd need to get it close below this trend line and this area here for me to begin to try to trade it back down. Very cautious, very small stop lights, because here's another level where price reacted. So I'd have to think really seriously as if I wanted that trade or not. Probably want it. This is where I'd want it, below this area here. I'd be more comfortable. Now the pound, just playing around, going sideways. Not a lot of trades, okay? Pound AUD for me, no trade. I know this is a big range. This is a huge range in here. But if we go down, even go down to the 4 hour. We're stuck in the middle of this range. This is not a good place to trade it from my perspective. I just would rather wait. There's a lot of volatility with the negotiations going on between the ECB and Boris Johnson. And it looks like this 4 hour chart has just gone sideways. Look at it. There's the range in there. Be careful. I'd rather wait for it to come up here, even though it's 100 pips. I don't care. And this is what I'd like to trade. This type of move here. You can see the really, really, really good. Oopsie, sorry. So you can see came up, spinning top, down. That's the trade I want. Crossing my baseline, which is the blue line. Then I'm interested in trying to trade it back down. But from here, I'd rather wait for it to come back up here. Okay, pound caddy, very similar. All these are very similar. There's no trades right here. Okay, we're looking at a 4-hour chart. This could be a bottom here, maybe. Let me have a look and see what's happening on the daily chart. Yeah, look at it. Gives you a perspective. So it's just simple stuff. I think there's some awesome trades when the whole Brexit thing in terms of negotiations are settled between the ECB and Britain. But if I get a break of this trend line here and an engulfing candle breaking through this level, I will have a go at trading it up. Pound Swissy. Sorry, that was the pound Swissy I was looking at, not the pound CAD, sorry. So pound CAD. You can see the breakout here, but look, just looking at it straight away, you can see key levels of resistance. Now let's just go up and have another quick look at the weekly. Try and be as quick as I can here. Squish that up. You can see price reacted here, and we're not too far away from it. So, you know, for me, it's just no trade. I want to see what it does up here. Maybe from this level, I can get a move down on a smaller time frame. That's what I'm looking at. It's had a beautiful move up. That was the move up last week. And I hope some of you caught it. Pound JPY, no trade. You can see the move down that it's had. Right now, for me, the big question is this going to range out here? Just let's shift these around. Because this is a new, I want it to break out of this range here. Either way, before I risk a trade. I'm quite happy to trade pound JPY north, not so happy to trade it south just because of the swap fees. Pound New Zealand. Lots of commentators are suggesting that there's huge potential in the pound New Zealand to go up. We have to wait. It struggles. Every time it's broken this level up here, look what it's done. You go down to the 4-hour, you can find an entry, but I'm not interested in taking this north from here until I get a close above this level. Pound USD. This has strengthened last week on the dropping of the pound. Just similar to the Aussie USD, the New Zealand USD, not so for the US caddy. And we'll have a look at that shortly. But here was the trade here. Just putting your trend line in and trading simple support and resistance. You can't fail. Overall, you're going to lose trades, but this is a good, safe way of trading. There's key level of 129 there. Look, price reacted here before. See it? You run your trend line. You've had a lovely 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days down here before it started pulling out. A whole week of bearish movement. And now we're 2, 4. So we had a day of rest, and then it stopped. We didn't, and the day of rest where it didn't make a new high. Then 1, 2, 3, the last 3 days of the week. Boom. There's your trade. Simple stuff. New Zealand, CAD. I'm looking for a bottom. These red marks here are really historical lows. If we squash it up, let me show you. You know, we don't trade off the monthly. I just feel that while the Swiss is strong, this could easily come down here and retest. There's flash crashes. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until I get an established bottom to launch from. You know, here's the trade. If I get down here, I'm going to take some trades north. Of course, I'll risk it because my risk-reward ratio, if I get a signal off this level here on, say, a daily or a weekly trend line or horizontal support, of course I'm going to. I'm not sure that this is the bottom, even though we've got a good bull candle to finish with on Friday. This could be just some sort of a retest before it comes low. So for me, before I'm really interested, I need to see it take out this big white candle here. And then I need to see it make a higher high and break this level. of 61. So being real careful and cautious. New Zealand, Swiss CAD. That was the New Zealand Swiss we were looking at. I want to take this north. New Zealand CAD. We've got to close above the outer trend line here. And the New Zealand dollar did strengthen a little bit on the weakness of the US dollar. Need to watch that US dollar index to see what the New Zealand and Aussie dollar is going to do. If China is recovering, then we could see some strength in the New Zealand and Aussie dollar. And I am looking for a move off here if we get that. New Zealand JPY. Money's going into the yen, so I'm not surprised to see this mucking about stuff going on. So please stay safe. This trend line here on the daily is not a bad kind of deal if you want to see it break. The more it goes sideways in here, the less potent a potential break of the trend line becomes. If it goes sideways like this for another week, then you'll be out here, and 2 weeks out here, and this becomes less effective. You're better off then to put key areas of support and resistance in as a guide to whether you take the trade or not. Because the longer this goes sideways in this range, the less important this becomes. New Zealand USD, we talked about a little lift up here. It's breaking my baseline, so now I'm looking for some movement up. And let's have a look at the 4-hour chart just to see if I'm going to get it. It's a lot of indecision at the end of the week. So really for me, I would like it to come down here and retest this area, and then a good engulfing candle. Something like this. You can see this is sort of like a lot of indecision, then an engulfing candle. Put a pending order up above here somewhere at the key resistance area. It would have to be a pending order in here, and then up you go. Couldn't put it in here because you'd be trading into resistance. Not a good idea. USD caddy, lots of indecision. See, even though the US dollar was weak, this did not respond accordingly. So be careful. I actually tried to take a trade here, and I lost it. I do lose trades. I'm not afraid to say it. Losing is just part of the game, but I lose small. And so for me, if the dollar continues to weaken, I need to see it break this trend line. We're looking at a 4-hour. I would want to see a engulfing candle and taking this area out here. Okay, US Swissy, beautiful drop down. Again, I don't trade it south simply because it is expensive for me. Where are we going? I'm looking for a bottom, but I can't tell you where the bottom is. I'm just going to have a look at support and resistance areas. Now, if I want to get an idea of probabilities, I go and have a look at the bigger time frame here. Let's just redo this, okay? Remove all drawings. So looking at this chart now, here's the complete history of what this pair has done since 2003, according to TradingView. I know there are charts that go back further, but I can only go off my relevant information. So the first thing I'm going to notice is, look, there is, I can see support and resistance, a reaction line in here. It's obvious. See where price reacted one way or the other, right in here. Okay, you might want to put it up here. That's fine. So right now, patience is the game, and I'm wanting to see if this level holds. If this level holds here, I'll be looking at a bull trade. USD, JPY, lovely moves down, but this is key area again, and I deliberately left it on the monthly. Look at this. You know, right down in here might be a better, more candles, see? Look at this. So be careful. There's a lot of people out there that have an opinion. that we're going south a lot more. Wait and see. This could turn around. If we see a break of the key level on the US dollar index, then boom, down it'll go. So patience is is a virtue here. No question about it. And I'm just trying to show you common sense, logical stuff. And when you see this in the context of the daily, this 108 was the key area. It's 105, just looking at a daily chart here, would be a good number to have in mind. If it breaks this, there's 105. If it closes below this, and you can go to a smaller time frame, and you can look at it from a 4-hour point of view. If you get it, you can see how it's starting to go sideways. I need to see it take this out before I'd even be interested in trying to trade it up. In fact, I'm not going to, because here's my baseline. And as long as it's down below the baseline, I'm not really interested in a bull trade. This could come up here and do a retest. Boom. And then off we go. It is possible. Anything's possible. The market will decide. So right now, patience. Let's have a quick look at gold. Gold flirted again last week with not quite 1700. Right now, just looking at this from a 4-hour perspective, there is where price reacted here. See, it's pulled off, indecision here. I do have pending orders waiting above 1700 now. If it breaks out here, we could see a surge, especially if we get more bad news. Silver isn't playing the game right now. A few weeks ago, we were flirting with the 1800. We got up as high as nearly 1900, and then it dropped all the way back down. And the gap between the gold price and the silver price is still as high as it's ever been in historical history. This seems to be range bound here. It's looking at a 4-hour. Let's go have a look at the daily just before we wrap this up. This could be the range between here and here. So it's anybody's guess. Gets down here, I would be inclined, if I got a good bullish signal, especially off a 4-hour chart, something like this, I'd be inclined to trade it north from here. If I get it close below this, anything can happen. So please, traders, stay safe. I know it's been 37 minutes this time, but please stay safe out there. Please protect your capital. Use and employ common sense, support and resistance. If your strategy and technical algorithms that you use is consistently helping you grow your account, continue to use it. If it doesn't fit your trading criteria, don't be tempted to jump to the next strategy, because that won't help you. Wait for the trades to come to you. Take care, and we'll talk to you in the chat room. Cheers.